Hey guys, today we'll be talking about tips for success, especially because we're just starting a new year. So everybody's thinking about how to succeed, how to make your best, and how to make more money, how to do so many things. So we'll be sharing our different ideas on tips or just different tips on how to succeed in 2024. So my name is Famous, and here we have
Chioma. And Amanda.
Amanda. So Famous, Cherma, and Amanda. So yeah, we'll start right away with the first icebreaker for this conversation will be uh, success, understanding success. So from our point of view, everybody have their own how they see success. So from your point of view, from my point of view, what is success? What does success mean to you? To you, to you.
Yeah, you're the one that said it, so you start.
Okay, okay. Their success. So in the most general form for me, I always link success to purpose, discovery, and fulfilling purpose. So regardless of whatever I'm gonna do this year, it may not sound like something so grandiose or big, but I just feel like it should be in line with where I'm heading. So let's say I remember I did medicine. So when I was in med school, whatever we're doing in the school, whether we're going to the library to study or we're doing group study or we're going to class or just the hostel we'll live in, everything just have to revolve in a way it helps us achieve our dream of getting that degree. If we're choosing our hostel, the hostel is what is close to the school. So the school became the kind of center point for everything we're doing. So my success at that point is like if I tell my friend like, oh, I got a house here, they'll be like, oh wow, and that's so close to the class. So the class was just the main point for every reference. Oh, I got this, let's say this textbook. They're like, oh, that book is really good for this subject. So success for me is really first it starts from understanding or discovering something I want to live for, I'm passionate about, and then just building on to fulfilling it. So for in this year, personal goals for me, I have goals about making more money
Definitely.
because so every time I'm making money, I got married a year ago, right? So December 10th. And I want to spend time with my wife. My oh guys, this is my wife. I want to spend time with my wife before kids come in, traveling and doing trips. Of course, after kids, I still plan to do that. So even in making money, it's still towards my purpose. I'm not just there like, oh, I want to make more money, but I want to make enough money that will give me the freedom to still do the things with my family that I want to do. So in that case, I'm just tying that to how success and purpose are kind of interlinked for me. So for me, the first thing for success is all about on this discovering purpose and fulfilling it. So before I go further or anything, so back to you guys. What's success from your point of view?
Mine is also similar. It's also like accomplishing or fulfilling your purpose. But why I look at it as a fulfillment, it's because, like, you talk about making money, right? Everybody wants to make money. That's the reality. But when I think about fulfillment as a whole, I want to make money, but not at the expense of something else that matters to me.
Right.
Like, I don't want to make money at the expense of my health, or I don't want to make money at the expense of my marriage, right? I want to have everything accomplished and fulfilled as a whole. That's what success to me. Like, success to someone else might just be, they offer me and Chioma $100,000 deal, but Chioma has to move like X distance away from her husband.
Yeah.
And the other person is like, who cares? My wife will understand, my husband will understand, I'm going to take that. But for me, also feeling fulfilled and successful is knowing that I'm close to you and we're still building
Right.
like our lives together, right? So I will most likely not
Decline.
exactly not take that, and it'll hurt, but
The end goal.
the end goal, I will feel like, my marriage is also something that I need to be successful in as
Yeah.
well, right? So I will still feel successful. I'll not feel like I've lost everything. So the general idea for me is it's not just one area of my life, but making sure that all round, like my
Right.
health, my relationships, my finances, my relationship with God, like everything as a whole is like accomplished according to my purpose. That's how they say.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Like when you were saying all around, it just it felt like you took it right out of my head, because for me it's the continuous growth, continuous improvement in like the different aspects of your life. So like you want to grow financially, you want to grow spiritually, you want to grow in your career. So like success is continuous growth in all of these areas. And like my marriage as well, just like using the example that you said, you don't want to get offered, I wouldn't want, I wouldn't take like an offer of 200K but across states while my husband is here. Like it wouldn't make any sense, because I'm taking that money. It's more money, but like I'm far away from my husband and we're not building memories together. We're not doing the things that we would want to do with the money that I'm getting. So I'm just getting money, but like I'm not happy or fulfilled with my partner. So for me, it's just the continuous growth in like every aspect of your life. You want to, you have things that you want to attain in your career, but you also want to grow and build like a good relationship with God. Then you also want your marriage to flourish, and like what's the next step in your marriage, because like you're not just going to stay in the way. And you even have family like goals, like what do you want to achieve as a family. So it's just like the continuous improvement in like the different aspects of your life. So
Nice. And so while we were all talking about, while I was listening, the word fulfillment stood out when you were talking, like it's about fulfillment for you. And then there was something you said, it's keeping my mind now, but which relates to fulfillment as well. And then so it's just like, so, and fulfillment and purpose. So for some people, we made example of marriage. You made example of your partner as well. So I'm just bringing this question for those who, okay, I'm not married now. I just need a more examples or something about success for me. How do I kind of play my game around? Though you can do this yourself, like if, but we just use something that is particular to us. So for
yeah.
someone else now, we talked about purpose. So I just want us to dive into a bit about, okay, so how do I find my purpose, or what is my purpose, or what is this all about, right? So I'll just throw something quickly there, which I think purpose relates to your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a good way for us to put it. Purpose relates to your passion. Yeah, we're passionate about our marriages, obviously. That's why we use that, for example. But whether married or not, we all have a passion given to each of us. So, and sometimes for some people, it relates to their profession, what they are doing. For some people, it doesn't relate to their profession. Or for some, their profession is their place whereby they make money so they can spend it on their passion.
Yeah.
Or you are building for the main time until you are able to like exhaust yourself on your passion. So just bringing it on that light, what do you have to say about purpose fulfillment, or does anybody have idea about, okay, how do people find their purpose, or what does purpose mean to people in success?
I'm going to go back to like something you said about, okay, because we used examples about marriage, and for someone listening that maybe is single and they're like, okay, so how about me? Like you guys are using examples of marriage. What, like how do I build, what does success really mean for me, or like how do I figure out all of those things? It could be just the way we said, like success is what it, like it's individual, it's an individual thing. So it could mean something different for me and also mean something different for you. So if I was single, I'm not single, but if I was, but if I was, it would be like if somebody should offer me like 200K to move across states, and like at that point, if I don't have, if I exactly, I don't have
Nothing to
anything
lose,
to
man.
lose, there's nothing holding me back, I can move. And again, that's where fulfillment comes in. Like if it's in the same line, like if okay, if I was a doctor and it's the same line, then and I don't have anything to lose, it's easy to just move and take that money. So at that point, success for me is like an increase in my salary. But if it's not in the same line, let's say I'm a doctor but they're offering me more as a nurse or something that wouldn't just make me as fulfilled or happy, then at that point I have to like, which one is higher up on the scale for you? Is it like more money, or like you towing the line and like getting better in that field? Like as a doctor, what do you aspire to be? Do you want to be like senior doctor or head of the doctors in your hospital or something? If somebody offers you more money to go become a nurse, then like, do I really want to be a nurse? I don't want to be a nurse, so I'm going to reject it. Like, if more money, I'm not going to take it because I want to keep being a doctor and probably just keep attaining, like, keep growing. I want to become the next vice VP of doctors in this hospital, or chief of staff. Do you get? So I'm not going to go accept the position of a nurse. I'm just trying to say that basically is what matters more to you. Like, it's a personal thing. You have to sit with yourself and reflect, what really makes sense to me? What do I like doing? What's on the scale of preference? What's like priority for me right now? For some people, they will take lower pay if it ensures that their mental health is intact. Like, is like, if I'm at a job that is stressing me, but like they're paying me good money, every time I'm done and I come back home, I'm just like, oh God, how do I do tomorrow's one? Like, it makes no sense because that money at that point is not giving me happiness. It doesn't make me fulfilled. So I'm going to rather go for something that will pay me less, as long as I'm good, I'm happy. Like, I wake up and I don't have any issues like waking up the next morning to go into work. Like, that's just what I feel.
And to interject into that whole idea of like working a job and that pays more and your mental health is deteriorating, like someone might think, oh, like, but it's paying more, if I decide to leave then I don't have money. But again, that comes back to you achieving what, like, your goals.
Yes.
Like, what is going to make you successful. If you know that your mental health is important to you and you cannot do it, like, no one is saying like just drop the job if you know you cannot afford to. There's some people that if you leave the job, you have soft landing, you'll be fine.
Right.
But if you know you don't have that soft landing, like support, and I say soft landing support, then don't leave. But then again, it will come back to, okay, I'm not happy in my job, I need to find another job, regardless of if I'm going to get like a lower pay, so that I can move on and be happy.
Yeah.
And who says you have to stop when you're in the job that's a lower pay, right?
Right.
You can still like try to achieve that higher paying job, but just make sure then, like, you're smarter, you ask the important questions to you in your interview. Like, the reality is when you're being interviewed, you can also interview the interviewer.
Yes.
Like, what's your
It's
company's
both
value? I need to know because it's important to you. You don't want to go back to a company that's only going to abuse you and just make you feel like nothing again, right? So just to add to that point, so that people are not thinking, oh, like, just I should just leave my job. No. That's not what we're saying.
Nice.
It's what matters to you
Yes.
as an individual. Like,
Yes. Yeah. So, wow. That really hit. I think that's a very good place to start discussing about how to make 2024, like how to be successful in 2024 and in life generally. I remember I was talking about fulfillment, you said, and I remember what stood out when you were talking is you mentioned something about all-round success and in different spheres.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out, like, fulfillment is very important, where you feel fulfilled. And Choma said something about also, I don't want to be getting, let's say, more money at the expense of my peace, joy, and all. And then she mentioned something about all round. You don't want to be doing something whereby in one area of your life you're just going up, and then the other areas are just going down. So do we really say that's successful? So that's like apparent success, but it's like a time bomb waiting to happen. So they're like, oh, this person was doing so good, but what happened? Yeah, he was doing so good outwardly, but there were so many things that were just down.
Yeah.
So as we understand success, let's just look at it like we talked about it being the discovery of purpose, having fulfillment, and then also look at progressive growth in different areas of our lives. So as we're thinking financially, so there's the relationship aspect of life. That's why we mentioned marriage, or for you it could be friendship. For some it could be their family, like your dad, your mom. You're like, this year I want to see, I don't speak to my dad, I don't speak to my mom ever. But now you're like, you know what, I want to give them a call a week. That's 52 calls a year. It's not so much. You're like, but it's intentional. So relationship aspect could be there. For some it could be career wise. You want to be whether the medical director of the hospital or the branch manager of the tech company or whatever. So it's just like making that there. Some is spiritual growth. For some is health goals. It's like, okay, I think I want to, you're already projecting that in my 50s, in my 60s, I want to still be able to sprint, move around, play with my friends, enjoy the money I've made all through my lifetime. Not, oh, I'm making so much money, and then when I'm 50, I'm like a national problem. Everybody's like, oh, daddy's back, he's not feeling good, or mommy's back. No, so it's like so it's like different areas of your life, your mental growth, your mental health, putting all together really counts for success. Your purpose, your fulfillment, progressive growth in different areas of your life, and making sure you're achieving one thing without losing the peace and joy in other areas.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll summarize that to be. So in light of that, what are actual tips now for us to achieve success? So from our views and like different perspectives, what are tips we can put in place or we can use that helps us to achieve success? I remember the first question I asked it, and you guys said I should break it.
I can start. I can start because I know you guys are still going to bring knowledge into it. But let me just. I'm going to go back to when we said all round. What all round success is, and having different areas of your life that you want to achieve it in. If you work in tech, you probably know what SMART goals are because they make us do it all the time, right? So for me, what making like to achieve a specific goal. For example, I'm going to use health because I feel like that's something everybody should take seriously. If I know that I want to still be healthy in my 40s and my 50s, I don't want to just not be able to, like, once I start having kids, can't run up the steps with them. Kids can be very chaotic and just need all of your energy. I would commit to myself, like, okay, like my end goal is when I start having kids, I want to be able to lift them up for hours, run up the stairs, down, carry 10 grocery bags at the same time, carry 3 kids at the same time if I can. What do I need to do to make sure I'm able to do that? That's just one goal, right? I start to ask myself, okay, first, I probably need to get to moving because sitting in one place is not going to solve that. I need to get to moving. That is one specific goal to start with. I need to get to moving. Now, moving can be from here to the kitchen or from here to my room. That might not be moving enough, but I need to ask myself again, like, how much do I need to move each day? For me to make sure that I'm actually getting enough movement, like every day. Do I need to walk for an hour? Do I need to run for 30 minutes? Do I need to go swimming for, depending on the kind of sport you like doing. Some people like to play soccer, some people like to play basketball, some people like to lift weights. Whatever your own preference is, you decide that. Say mine is walking every day for 1 hour. Great. Now, when in a day can I walk for 1 hour? Because you need to plan it properly. If not, you're just setting yourself up to fail, right? When in a day can I walk for an hour? And be very, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for?
Specific?
No, not specific. You need to make sure it's something that you can achieve. Don't be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
If
like
you know,
realistic.
if you know you're not the person that will wake up at 5 a.m. and walk for, don't say you wake up at 5 a.m. and go and walk for an hour, right? Maybe again. 5 a.m. waking up 5 a.m. and that goal you set for yourself to now build on top of that. But to start off, maybe that's not a smart thing because you find yourself waking up at 8 o'clock. You be like, tomorrow.
And tomorrow never comes.
Or you want to wake up 5, but you watch a movie till 3.
Exactly. That's why I said 5 a.m.
So,
wake up time is another goal. You need to be knowing that I need to be in bed at 8 o'clock. My eyes need to be closed 9 p.m. Right? That's a different goal. But if you know you cannot do it, don't do that, right? You need to be very honest with yourself. If you know you can do it midday, like if it's maybe your lunch hour, instead of dedicating your lunch hour to just sitting and eating, I'll go for a walk instead. And then you use that 1 hour to go for a walk. But you need to be very honest with yourself and make sure. There's something I also say, like, you need to give yourself, what's that, condition yourself with something good. Like, oh, I walked today, so maybe I'm going to have a donut. Something. Like a reward. Yeah, like a reward system, right? It doesn't have to be a donut. If you're trying to lose weight, maybe not a donut.
Well, you brought it to our minds now.
But a reward system, like, because I walked for an hour today, I'm going to do something I like, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't walk for an hour, don't reward yourself so you don't feel the need to be lazy tomorrow.
Right.
And then make sure you're doing it and then track. And another thing is, if you don't get it done today, yes, you can do it tomorrow. Even though Amanda said tomorrow will never come. It's true. Because if you keep pushing it off, it probably
you
will
not get
never
to
come. But it doesn't mean that each new day cannot be a new day. It can also be a new day, but just make sure you're actually trying. Like, you need to try to make sure that you're achieving those goals, right? So, and that's how it starts. Like, before you know it, you're working an hour, or maybe you start to work 2 hours. Like, just make sure you're trying, you're actually investing your time to do it. And it has to be something that is, again, relevant to you. If, because Amanda is running for 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I want to run but I don't like running,
Right.
I'll probably never do it. But if I know I like walking, I should just choose my own walking and stay in my lane, stick to it, right?
Relevant.
So just make sure it's very, very, very relevant to you, and just go for it. Like, it's going to, I just feel like that's the way you need to, you set yourself up for like success in like different areas of your life. Just, again, making sure what you're picking is relevant to you. It's something that you know you can achieve. You set times for yourself. You set little goals for yourself. Like, okay, this week I'm going to walk 3 times. This week I'm going to walk 4 times. If you want to do the reward system, because it will help you like keep up, sure, do your reward system. But again, if you're trying to lose weight, not something unhealthy, but some form of reward system to just keep you going. And before you know, you look back like 6 months and be like, oh wow, like, this is what I've done. Like, Famous and I were trying to go on a 30 days challenge starting in next week Monday, starting on Monday.
You want to join?
And like, he printed out a paper where we can like be
checking
it off,
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
So if you're looking at the paper and you are seeing
Yes.
that's your own checking off,
Which is me most times.
it's very empty. You will feel a need to fill it up, right? Especially if you're that kind of person that likes to see check mark. I'm that kind of person. I write my to-do list and check it off. And if it's not checked off,
then you don't feel good.
exactly, right? So looking at that paper, I know it's going to inspire me to want to actually do my workout. So I'm going to let you guys.
I like that you
your
started
gems.
like that, because we can all agree that goal setting is like a very good. I don't know if it's the number one. I don't say it's the major tip for success, but it really is. Like, you have to set goals. But now that we know that goal setting is very good, I have a question. So, do we think that there is a difference between like goals and New Year resolutions? Like, do we think
goals in general
between goals and resolutions? Let me put it that way. Between goals and resolutions,
is there a difference?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it varies from person to person, but it can. I guess the definition behind it is different. Yes.
Yeah.
The word itself is different.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
By the time we
Okay.
first define it,
Period. It's
No, but,
different.
so you don't think the actions that follow are different?
It depends on the person. Like, maybe this is a turning point for your life where it just somehow aligns with your resolution dates, which is January 1st, right?
Okay.
So
the January 1st can also be your goal date. And that's what makes a goal a plan. They say a goal without a time or a particular
Yeah.
is a wish.
It's a wish,
It's like,
right?
but when there is a time bound, like, yes, for those smart, she says smart, just in case we don't know, specific, measurable, attainable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
Yeah.
Yes, so the goal, goal and resolution, I think that there's a difference. So I think goals are has more to do with the vision itself being broken down into achievable targets. So long-term goals, short-term goals. So it's kind of objectives. So the goal has to do with the target, which sometimes it's not. Though it's your vision and your purpose, but you have taken them into an entity. It's like you open the business. So it's like, I have this idea, but I've not brought this idea into a business, and this business wants it to expand let's say expand to Canada, in Toronto by June, and by December it should be in Ottawa. So the goal has to do with the purpose itself and everything. The resolution has more to do with you. It's a resolve made within you that I must achieve this thing by this time. So you might have been having those goals like, I'll do this, I'll do this. But then when there comes a resolve,
Yeah.
so that's why New Year most times comes with a resolve for many people, because for some people, or generally, it's like a turn in the calendar or a turn in a day like every other day. You sleep, you wake up. However,
It's a new year.
yes. So, but because it's a new year, it gives us, there's this pump that comes with it, which we
Yeah.
try to take advantage of, which is very good. So, the resolve itself, I would say, is the internal, or the resolution is that internal resolve and fervency that this
Yeah.
goal, I'm going to do something about it,
Yeah.
which is, it increases at that time of the year. So, the difference between the goal and a new resolution is that the goal has been there, is what we really want to achieve, but the resolution is that increase in inspiration and like fervency
drive.
that, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I like how you put it, because yeah, what you said makes sense to me. I never thought about it that way. Like, the resolution has to do with you, while the goal is like something you want to achieve. That makes a lot of sense, because even when you check dictionary, resolution is like a firm decision. So it's you deciding that, even if you have goals, I feel like they're different, goals, resolutions, because I have goals, but like I'm not really doing much about it. But the day I decide, I see today is me and this goal, we are going to write it down. I've made a firm decision that, see, I'm writing down my goals. This is like what I want to achieve. This is when I want to achieve it by. These are the steps I'm going to take to achieve it. That's like
Yes.
goals.
But I think-
Resolution is like the resolve, the decision that I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah. I think the argument there could be like, I don't do New Year resolution. Let me just make that clear first of all. I don't do that. But I just think the argument there could be, okay, but like that firm decision comes with actions, right? Which are like the goals I'm also trying to achieve. So why can't they?
Why can't they be the same? But like,
Because when you say New Year resolution, so someone's New Year resolution might be like, I'm going to read books this year. That
Yeah.
can also be your goal this year.
Yes.
I want to read more books this year. And then you start to set your goals for how you're
you
going
see,
to.
you're now setting the goals after you made the
Sorry.
resolution that you're going to do. Because if I
Sorry.
say I'm going to lose weight this year, and I'm just every day, I'm going to lose weight, sha. Tomorrow, I will lose weight. You've not written anything down. You've not written out, okay, how many steps? What will I do to lose this weight? Okay, what should I cut out of my diet? How much should I move? What, like, these are now the goals you're writing down. And as you're writing, okay, if I'm going to cut out carbs, or I'm going to take 10 steps, you're already breaking it down into like actions that you would do. So that's, I feel like that's the difference.
So in essence, it's kind of, goals and resolutions are different, but their difference is not really, is much more like the, see, it's like they are the same and they are different.
Yeah, I know.
So it's
people
like
use
they are
it
they are the
interchangeably.
same, they are the same things, but it's just that it becomes a resolution because of the force of intentionality I've added to it.
And I also think people, like, you see how you define resolution as the force or the intensity. I don't think people see it as that. I might be wrong, but when people talk about like
New Year
My
resolution.
New Year resolution,
They're thinking goals.
they're thinking goals.
Yeah.
They're not actually thinking that, oh, this is just them coming to terms with themselves that they want to do this year.
Yeah.
They see it past that. They see it like, okay, I've agreed, and this is, in fact, they call it, this is my resolution. Do you have your list of resolution?
So you know you just,
Yeah. So they write the list of resolution, but it's really things that they want to achieve.
so you just hit something. I think that would have been another question. Why does it look like most times the resolutions do not work? Because for some people,
Okay, when you put it that way.
because for some people, like you said, it's just a list of goals. It wasn't really a resolution.
You didn't firmly, but you
You
know
didn't-
what? You can actually firmly in your heart resolve to do something or to change. But if you're not putting like
You're not
actionable,
planning towards
yes,
it.
if you're not backing it up with actionable steps,
Yeah.
that's all it's going to be, a resolution.
At
Okay.
least
At least
that
like,
you change the zeros
Uh-huh,
at the end of the year.
and like next year you get that same list and just make it 2025 from
Yes.
2024. It's still the same thing because you've not achieved them. So
Now bringing it to what you're saying, for them, it became a resolution because the year changed. not because they are trying to take advantage of a new season.
But that's the whole point of resolution. New Year's resolution.
Yeah, so that is what they have made the whole point of it, but that is actually not the whole point. So it's like it's like religion and spirituality.
Right.
So it's like, it's New Year, we have to go to church.
And enter the New Year
inside church. But in reality, the person he was in the church building, but he's outside God. Where he's like that circle. He's in church typing to his friend like, "Omo, tonight,
where we go meet after now?"
So it's like even God is like
inside church.
So for some people, that's why, for example, there is this funny pidgin adage. It says like, now when you wake up, be your morning.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody can wake up 6 o'clock. That's another person wakes up 1 o'clock. That's actually his morning. He just that's when his day starts.
Yeah.
So the fact that the new year starts on that first, for some people, let's say there are people who they lost a friend to cancer, and that was the day they decided that they will fight cancer with everything. So their resolve started that day. Not because they told them, Joe, write 5 things that you don't like in this life, and they was like, I don't like cancer, I don't like this. But there was no resolve to it. So what are the resolutions of things we should destroy? Cancer, that. But this other person that lost someone, something within them, something died and something woke up. They lost someone, but something else also woke up that almost. So resolve is really is really about that, right? Like the goals, the long-term goals, as I'm resolving that this year I will do this.
Yeah.
But it must come from inside.
Yeah,
and from
like
what you said, there was the way you
change.
explained it, that some people have the internal change, but they don't follow it up. So it's like we must have the internal change, and then you must also take the proper steps, like the SMART goals and the actionable steps.
Yeah.
So some people have all the resolve, but they don't have the wisdom for the SMART goals and actionable steps. Some people have SMART goals, like they know how to do it on paper.
Yeah.
Like 2 months I will go here, 1 year, but there's no inner resolve. So hopefully for success in 2024 and beyond, we can blend both that inner resolve, the SMART goals, and the actionable steps. Wow. I have to listen to this after we're done. So that
I mean, we are all going to benefit from this, because even as we are talking, we still have work to do, like individually.
And like hearing other people talk to their things you're learning as well.
Yes. So it applies to like everyone, like including us that are speaking and like those listening.
okay. So